Last time on Square Roots, we crash land on a jungle planet and quest for fruit, only to be made horribly uncomfortable by racial caricatures and the objectification of underage girls. Also, we kill a star god.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Square Roots. I am your host, John Brandon, and with me as always is the lovable, the irreplaceable, the adorable? No, Reps. There's a
magical
Matthew Van Zandt.
Well. Finally, you've admitted to, how adorable and magical I am.
It's true. Also with me is the fantastic, the qualified,
the fantastic,
brilliant,
the qualified, the brilliant,
Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And on this here podcast, we play a classic RPG, one chunker at a time. It's like a let's play for your ears, or like a book club, but instead of reading a dumb, smelly old book, we play a video game. No one likes smelly old books.
What is video game for this episode?
We are on part 3 of Rogue Galaxy, unfortunately.
Why unfortunately?
How do you all, let's do a little check-in. How y'all feeling about this game?
I'm feeling proud because I was a early adopter of disliking this game from the very first episode, and I think that I have been proven right.
Yes. Before we really sink our teeth into that,
Best game ever!
We should also mention we have a super cool Patreon with bonus episodes, and it's the Square Roots podcast Patreon. You can search it on Patreon.
Patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast.
Sure it is. But before we level up, before we get to the frog log, how about we level up? Matthew,
Frog.
what did you do?
Have you heard of a show called Mobile Suit Gundam UC?
No.
I've seen a Gundam. It was from the 80s.
More like Mobile Suit Gundam AF. I wasted like 8 hours of my life watching a show on Netflix called Mobile Suit Gundam UC. I've never seen a Gundam on a Netflix, so I thought this must be a special one. I'll watch it because I've always been vaguely curious about these Gundams. Vanessa, what do you know about a Gundam?
I know it's a mech, and I hate a mech, so I hate
Why?
a Gundam. I hate them. It's well-established Square Roots canon that I do not like a mech. It's big. It can say beep, boop, boop, boop. I'm a robot, but I have a little person inside me. I'm just going to smash into another robot. It's boring. I don't like it. They're ugly. They're dumb. I hate a mech. Ugly.
I think this statement is completely disproven by today's episode.
Oh. You know what?
Wah, wah, wah.
I did like that mech.
Me too. That mech was pretty good.
Oh, dear. Well, Jonathan, how do you feel about a mech? Do you have a startling hot take?
Well, back in the early 1990s, where my brother, Steve, not from this game, was watching old Gundam tapes from Japan, I thought the show was kind of dry. Like, it was super these are like fan subs. And it was just like a super dry military space mecha anime. Like, there's no likable characters. It was like people in boardrooms looking at maps of like the solar systems they were attacking and stuff. It was very dry. That is my experience with Gundam, and I think that was like the original Gundam.
I saw a little bit of that old Gundam too, and the only part I liked was the part with the humans, where it was like political intrigue and things like that.
Well, I will talk about that in a second, actually, because I want to say, first of all, Mobile Suit Gundam UC, more like Mobile Suit. Did I already make that joke?
Yeah.
More like Mobile Suit Gundam AF. Did it get a big laugh?
No.
Damn it. Maybe it did from the listeners at home. You don't know.
Maybe not. Probably not the second time.
Yeah.
Listeners, could you please write in and just kind of rate that gag for us? And anyway, so I thought it would be something interesting to check out. I've never really checked out a Gundam other than watching some Gundam Wing back when it was on Toonami after Dragon Ball in the 90s. And it was confusing, and all the characters were terrible, and it was very dry, and it was a lot of people sitting around in boardrooms talking about the places they were going to attack.
There's a lot of maps.
There's a lot of characters just being terrible people, and not in like interesting or realistic ways, but just like in stupid ways to drag out plot and create melodrama. It was very bad.
Friend of the podcast, Julio, was watching an anime on Netflix once a couple of years ago, and it was like about a ship in space that was like a big city, and then it got like hit by something, and you just saw 90,000 people get splatted against walls.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Did you see that one? It was like Knights of something, I think.
I do watch a fair amount of anime. I wouldn't say I watch a lot of anime, but I'm not super experimental in my anime watching.
That
I just
one
sometimes
seemed
want
pretty
to
cool.
Sometimes I just want to tune in. Oh, was it Knights of Sidonia?
Is that the one about a big space city flying through space?
Yeah, it's like on a asteroid or something.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I only watched the first season. I didn't love it. But yes, I do remember that. Anyway, but that got me interested enough and I will say I did like the Gundam shooty fight parts, and I thought the designs were really cool. So it did have some interesting stuff. And I didn't hate all the characters, and it got me curious. So I decided to read some Mobile Suit Gundam. It's called a series called Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin, and it is a manga version of that original series you two were talking about.
They made it worse.
It's standard kind of manga art, but it's got a really nice. This version I'm reading has a nice kind of watercolor color scheme to it. It looks really pretty. And I would agree with Vanessa. There's some stuff now that I'm halfway through this gigantic series. I do enjoy. I've started to like a lot of the characters, but not the main character. He's a terrible melodrama monster that just ruins every scene he's in. But like the political intrigue between some of the characters it actually gets pretty good
And homoerotic.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that, so Vanessa is referencing a page that I took a picture of and sent to them, where a man was taking a shower, and I was certain that these two men were about to have sex when I turned the page, and then I turned the page, and instead they were just like, okay, bye! It was weird.
That's
Let's go look at some maps.
Disappointing.
Let's go look at some maps! But
Maps to this dick.
yeah. And
Just
that
an
was
arrow pointing down.
That was the main villain, Char, who now I'm like halfway through have learned is the son of the, I don't know, somebody. It's fucking, come on. But, yeah, so that's my level up. I Gundam'd. I don't know if I will continue to Gundam. I'm going to finish this Gundam Origin because I'm halfway through it and I want to see where it ends. Though it probably won't end anywhere satisfying. And it turns out that mobile Gundam, like, mech fights in manga, pretty boring. It's just a lot of people in cockpits screaming. It works really well, in my opinion, when it's animated because it's fast and fluid and cool. But when you're just looking at pictures of it, it's pretty boring.
Do you remember that scene in Labyrinth where she's falling through this tunnel and there's just all these hands?
Whatever it is you're about to say, I remember it.
Do you remember the hands coming out of the walls of the tunnel?
It's when she
The
falls into the
helping
oubliette.
hands.
I just imagine that a cockpit is like that, only with penises. And they also bunch together to make faces.
Okay, that sounds terrible. I mean,
Will you go up
oh boy, that is a nightmare image. Holy shit!
She
I
chose
can't get it out of my head. Stop it!
chose
Vanessa. Ah!
Was that the wrong choice? It's too late now.
But it's all dicks.
Yeah, then she goes down
This is really
on
gross.
the dicks.
Terrible. All right, well, that's it for me. Vanessa,
Yeah.
how did you level up?
Hey guys, do you like podcast?
I'm all right with them.
Yeah, they're fine.
I've been listening to podcast, and I have
I'd rather
two
play a video game.
podcasts to talk about. Two podcasts that are much more popular than our podcast. So
Impossible.
you're welcome for the plugs.
We're
Podcast
over
number
9,000 popular.
Podcast called CBB. That's John's neck of the wood. Wait, CBC?
CBC?
The CBC presents Uncover Escaping Nexium.
Oh, I thought you,
Ooh.
I thought you meant Comedy Bang Bang. I was like, she's going to talk about Comedy Bang Bang.
Me
Talk about
too.
Comedy Bang Bang.
So you're talking about, what's it called again?
CBC presents Uncover Escaping Nexium.
Hosted by Scott Aukerman?
No. Hosted by a Canadian. This Canadian, he was minding his own business, walking along in some island in BC somewhere, being like, doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. And he ran into a girl who he knew from when they were teenagers. It's about, 15 years later now. And he says to her, well, hi, I'm a reporter for the CBC. What have you been up to? And she says, I just escaped a cult. So then he gets into telling her story and researching Nexium, which you may know as Allison Mack's cult. Smallville's...
Wait, like the secret world of Allison Mack?
No, Smallville's Allison
Oh.
Mack. Is that her name? Yes.
Wasn't
Allison
there a TV
Mack.
show called Allison Mack?
That was
Am I
Alex
crazy?
Mack.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Alex
okay.
Mack. She turned into a puddle of goo.
Yeah.
Right.
This lady, she don't turn into puddle of goo, but she does brand women with her initials and the initials of this other guy. It's really
what?
interesting. It's
Doesn't
this
sound interesting. It sounds terrifying.
deep dive into the practices of this cult, which has kind of recently been in the news and been exposed for what it is. And there are a whole bunch of lawsuits out. But this guy started reporting on it sort of right before it exploded. So he was in there telling the story, and then all of this new stuff came out, and it's very interesting. And it's a little bit of Scientology, but kind of based on the idea that women are shit and need to improve themselves. And the way you improve yourself is by getting a brand and being a sex slave.
Ugh.
Holy shit.
It's interesting. And Nexium is spelled Nxivm, because of course it is.
And this started, I know this is a local thing, it started in my part of the country.
Yes, it's very Canadian-centric and Vancouver-centric.
And it started off as a yoga group and then became a weird sex cult.
But the guy who runs it has been involved in
Oh.
multi-level marketing schemes and things like that for years.
Is this the one that some celebrity on Twitter was trying to recruit girls?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, that's the girl from
one.
Smallville.
That's Allison Mack.
Oh.
And so I think she got arrested for
Sex trafficking.
human trafficking.
And that's the
Yeah.
one that turns into a puddle of goo?
No.
Oh.
She'll turn into a puddle of prisoner is what she's going to turn into. But yeah, it's interesting. And it's interesting to hear this woman's story because she sort of talks about getting drawn into this world and how when you're in a cult, things can escalate over the years. Because she was in it for about 12 years till the point where it gets to you're about to be branded and you're like, oh, this is what I have to do now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's interesting. Good reporting. Also good reporting, a little show called Serial. Maybe you remember Serial Season 1, where they investigated the murder, and it was America's hottest podcast craze.
That's the one where they murdered the rabbit because he wouldn't let them have their cereal?
Yeah. And now they're back with Season 3, and they're set up in East Cleveland talking about the justice system there. And when I say justice, I mean injustice.
Oh, no.
Justice League?
It's
the Legion of Doom?
Really interesting look at corruption, one of the most devastating things I've ever heard. So if you like to be devastated and thrown into despair over the state of America, Serial! Season 3, Episode 5, You in the Red Shirt. John, how did you level up?
I leveled up by working 80 hours. Well, I'm 72, I think.
No, that's too many hours.
Yeah, and I know this has been a big thing in the media lately, and it's just due to unforeseen circumstances and not a normal thing for me. So I haven't actually done a whole lot. Like, I have an episode of The Good Place I haven't watched yet.
What?
That is shocking.
I don't think I watched the new one
That's
either.
Your favorite show. And Cheaty's costuming is great in that episode, by which I mean he takes off his shirt.
I went to have you been to one of those restaurants where everything's like $5?
Like a McDonald's?
No, it's like you have lots of different plates, appetizers, meals, and everything
Tapas?
you order is $5. So like you can get a plate with like 3 tacos on it, or you can get a small burger, or you can get like a giant plate of fries. Everything's $5.
Are you talking about a $5 footlong from Subway?
I don't know. It's like a thing in Vancouver that they have this like 5 of these restaurants, and like they have. So I ordered like crispy mac and cheese and soft tacos, and I ordered pierogies, and so it was like $5 each.
$15.
But they never gave me my mac and cheese. I always that always happens to be at these kind of places. I don't know. It sucks.
Did you make a little fuss?
Oh, they took it off my bill.
Yeah, but you didn't get your mac and cheese.
I didn't, but I did go get myself a really nice steak because I felt sorry for myself, and it wasn't great. Honestly, they didn't cook it right.
Oh, John.
I just had bad luck. They burnt it. Like I get it Chicago style, which is technically burnt, but it should be rarish in the middle, and it wasn't. It's a hard steak to cook. I understand that. Anyway,
steak shouldn't be hard.
Well, sometimes this happens. Let's move on to the frog log.
Ribbit, I'm a frog.
Ribbit, ribbit, feed me your items. Ribbit, ribbit, I'll spit out a good one.
Ribbit, ribbit. I don't know. I was gonna make a crest frog joke, and I couldn't think of anything that would not just make me sad. So.
Well, Toady here. Okay, is he a toad or a frog? Because his name is Toady, but it's called the Frog Log.
Yeah, but your name is John, and you're not a bathroom.
That's true.
I would posit that he is some sort of alien monster and neither a toad or a frog. More of a mutant.
Mm-hmm. Well, he is. He got Daredeviled / Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtled. Remember?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Frog Log. Teenage Mutant Hungry Frog Log. So, you get to Zerard.
Froggy power.
Finally. And all you need to do is get a galactic visa.
Don't skate over this.
Your current visa is expired.
This is so important to the plot. It's such a big deal.
Okay, everything so far in this game has felt like a side quest in a different RPG. And it's like, when do we get into the main story? I think these crappy side quests are the main story.
They keep sort of hinting about some kind of main story that the captain will reveal when the captain wakes up, but he's been sleeping the whole time.
But these all feel like Dragon Age side quests, or like things that happen to you in villages on the way in a Dragon Quest game.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for an hour of us talking about this fucking visa. This game is now about fucking paperwork. We have to renew our license.
So
I am a space pirate, sir!
A license to land at ships, but yeah, we are a pirate thing. So you'd think that getting licenses wouldn't be super important, but you can't land at spaceports without a galactic visa. But then, Chaz is like, well, how do you land at this spaceport? And, Simon's like, well, in this case, they make an exception so you can do the paperwork.
I'm so glad that they explained that, because
They
I
cleared
would have
that up
been
for ya.
up at night wondering about
Good
the
God.
bureaucratic system
This
that allows
goddamn
them to
game
land
about...
at the spaceport and stay there for a couple days without a valid travel visa.
This goddamn game about monster hunting space pirates has
So-
featured no monster hunting and no fucking space pirating.
You are not piracying at all.
No.
But we
you
are about
do-
to spend 2 chapters, 5 fucking hours of my life on this video game of just getting your visa renewed.
Basically,
It's
you have to
about
walk
the amount
to...
of time it takes to actually get your visa renewed.
Yeah. It does remind me of a galactic DMV that you have to go to.
Absolutely.
So you finally walk to the galactic DMV, which takes about, I don't know, what, an hour of game time to walk from the spaceport to
because they have huge level designs for
Yeah.
no reason.
And you don't move that fast.
No.
And it's
No.
insane.
to finish this chapter, I was like, okay, I want to go get a sandwich and get a coffee. And it's 5 minutes to walk from the galactic corporation visa headquarters to the spaceport.
Yeah.
And
Why didn't you just teleport, though? You know you can teleport, right?
shut your face. There's also there's a passageway between the Galactic Corporation headquarters and this factory we go to that has
Yes.
these long corridors that go on for about 10 minutes.
It's like they wanted to portray how big this city was. But the way they did that wasn't by having a lot of, different buildings and different streets and things like that. They just have 1 or 2 really long streets with nothing on them.
This game's also facing the Grandia problem of there's lots of people to talk to, but they have nothing to say.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Grandia actually, they were fun. Like, whatever people had written was usually silly and would make me laugh. In this game, it's not.
There's nothing.
It's just boring.
It's just empty space. It's this dead, empty world with people that say nothing to you.
I ran
It's
into,
horrible.
on my way to the visa place, 2 lizard men, and one of them was bragging about how great his tail was. And the other one was saying, your tail's not that great. He always brags about his tail. I saw some kids who were happy to be out of school.
There's a guy trying to recruit people for modeling. Yeah.
And there was a guy who was selling pictures of someone, but only if you had a fan card member
Oh,
or
no.
membership. And
Is that a mini game or is that a mini
I think it was
quest?
just a guy. I don't know.
No, but I think because we get a fan card.
Yeah,
Vanessa.
so maybe I can go back and get the pictures, which is...
Oh, God. Vanessa, I think this might be a Yakuza situation. You might not want to go do that.
You're right.
You
I
may
made the
want to rethink
mistake
that.
of going into the video parlor in Yakuza and the phone club. It was a wrong choice.
So it's important, I think, to mention before we got off the ship, we have a team forced upon us.
Again,
And it
yeah.
is Likalakala, what's her name? Lakiki?
Lilika.
And Moleface, Simon,
Yeah.
who we are going to learn soon is not a mole man, but is just a crazed, disfigured man who has been injured and has ran away from his family.
That's quite a conclusion to jump to, and I jumped to the same conclusion.
I think he's trying to skip out on what's called child support.
Yeah, Mole Man does explain that he is a native of this planet, and Lily wants to come.
Okay, it's Lilica, Simon, and Theodore. Doot, 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 doot,
And I will say, I enjoy they do at least have some fun creature design, though, or alien design, though, right? There's like shark-headed people, and
those
fish-head
clownfish,
people, and lizard-head people.
They seem
fish
less
head
like
people.
fish head. Yeah,
Animals.
they're just like a fish set on top of someone's shoulders.
It's the best.
I don't think they
love
did
that.
a very good job of the anatomy with that one. The other, like the shark one looks like, an anthropomorphic shark, but
Right.
fish head is someone's head is a complete whole fish.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty clever. It's like the what are they called in the Breath of the Wild? The fish people, the Zora, with their just
they
they're
kinda have
just
the same
shark
thing.
heads. They're so
Yeah.
fucking funny. Anyway, so
Okay,
Yeah.
we've held off talking about this for long enough.
oh man, the worst. I played this a week ago, and then I sat it down and couldn't pick the fucking game back up until yesterday because this whole thing is so fucking annoying. I'm sorry.
So the lady at the DMV is
I'm gonna take a walk.
she's this lady called Mio. Her name is Mio, and she dances with her fans.
Yeah, Mio is a idol? Who works at the DMV. And
Space DMV.
apparently is like the biggest idol on this planet, it would seem.
Why is she working at the DMV?
I don't know.
I guess, she's like, well, people said don't quit your day job. And she's
Well,
like, okay, that's fair.
Maybe
I'll
she's
keep
sort of
working.
like a marketing gimmick for this corporation. So she's like Pam, the insurance lady. Or
Okay.
like that
The Geico lizard.
the insurance lady that everyone was all into. She's like that.
She's yeah.
But she also works
She's
the
the
front
mascot.
desk. Yeah, she's the mascot. She has pink hair and 2 pigtails, and she talks like this. Oh my god, hi you guys. Are you here to renew your visa? Is so sad, but the visa machine is down, so I can't do it for you. But you're welcome to look at me. Mio, hi.
OMG, scary.
Yeah.
I want to die right now.
And when
And then
you're
2
talking
guards.
to her, these 2 guards run up.
Robert and Henry, they take up about an hour of game
Yeah,
time.
we
I
really
would
get
say.
into Robert and Henry and their lives, ambitions,
They're gonna keep
the
coming back.
consequences of their actions.
This
I
shit
don't
makes me
know.
so angry. By the end of the game, by the end of this 5th chapter, when I'm trying to wrap up and I'm watching these guys talk about their goddamn fan club number, I wanted to punch my fucking television off my wall.
Yeah.
How dare you waste my time like this?
Henry is 00125, which is pretty low.
Mio is really impressed with early adopters. So if
Yeah.
you became a follower of her early,
Follow-o.
she
Yeah, follow
is
yo.
into you. Sort of like we're all into Jorgie because he was our first subscriber.
Yay!
I don't know if
Way
that's
to go,
true.
Georgie.
It's not true, but he is one of our earliest
Adopters.
fans.
I
that
think
talks
I think
to us and shit.
Julian came first.
Okay. I mean, the first, who came first was some people like the Vanessas and whatnots of the world who were in all of these groups as we were making this podcast and talking to us about it.
Right.
I don't want to talk about how a lady talks too much because, that's like a hot topic.
Oh
of-
my God, that's so considerate of you, John, because as we all know, ladies get criticized for their voices all the time, and it's so not right. So it's super cool
OMG.
that you're not going to do it, and you're not going to make fun of her voice. Totally great. Bye.
Lovely, honey, Mio, kawaii. So,
Yeah, so,
there's a whole lot of that.
Dork and Dink, or whatever these guards' names are,
Henry and Robert.
they run
I
up.
love that they don't have space names in this game.
Yeah.
Everyone's like Frank, Todd,
I do
Johnny,
like that.
Henry.
When they attempt a space name, it's hilariously stupid.
Yeah, we'll get to
Which
that.
we will get to, and when they don't, everybody's just named Steve.
Yeah.
That's
Why is the robot named Steve?
So
Oh,
they
boy.
do her fan dance and they get their picture taken with her. And they're really into it. And she's into it as well because she loves her
You know
fans.
who's not into it?
Chaz.
No, Lilica.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
she gets
Lilica's
so mad.
She has never left her jungle planet, and we show up. She has lived in a hut her whole life. In one village. She shows up to this planet, gets off the boat, and is like, I'm not impressed. Fuck you, lady. How dare she?
Well, she thinks the air is too polluted, which is probably fair. It's a city planet. She thinks that Mio shouldn't be trading on her cuteness or sexuality to advance her career, which is
That's not
a
her
little
business.
bit judgy. But, you know, it's a sort of classic tension between the idea of the successful career woman. Lilka is the head warrior of her tribe, or at least was, and the heir apparent to the chiefdom. And Mio is Mio Kawaii.
Jesus.
So
All right. Yeah, let's get past this.
okay, so we'll have to come back to Mio sometime, but not.
Well, we will.
Yeah, that's true. Twice.
Yeah.
So Lilica is getting real mad, and she gets so mad that something explodes, and suddenly you are arrested and thrown into prison.
Yeah, because
Whoa. You misspoke. She got angry, and then something exploded. Something
Yeah.
does
That's
not
what I said.
explode
That is
because
totally-
she got angry.
She pounded her fist down on the counter because she's like, give me the visa. Oh, we kind of glossed over. Mio will not give you the visa for
Matthew.
unclear reason. Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's like, they've suspended visa renewals for the moment.
All I heard was sort of a low buzzing noise.
And I think the reason is the factory, which we'll get to later.
Yes. So she pounds the counter, something blows up, and Mia's like, oh my god, you blew it up. Guards, help, I'm scared. And they arrest you without any kind of due process.
Yeah.
And you meet, I think this is right when you meet Rosencaster. Is he the one? He's the one that arrests. Oh no, it's right after this.
Yeah.
So, you basically get arrested, even though you look super innocent. You're taken to prison. Cut to Zegrum. Zegrum, like, hiding in the rafters. He'd set off a bomb.
Right.
Wait, who?
Eye patch eject.
Oh, I missed that. He did?
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Yep.
And he's
Fucking
like,
asshole.
sorry guys, can't let you get that visa. Eye patch eject.
I missed that.
So,
I patch checked.
So cut back to the prison where the prison, warden, Rosencaster, who's named the prison after himself, which seems a bit weird. Maybe it's just like a family thing.
Describe this man.
Okay, he's a big burly man with the world's ugliest face. He's got red eyeshadow, bright red, teeny tiny little beady eyes, a giant mouth, and
Heavy
A
scarring.
bunch of facial scars.
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of facial scarring. And he orders you to go to prison, and you do.
Level 4 prison.
Ooh.
Bum,
So
bum, bum.
you gotta make your way all the way from level 4 back to level 1,
Yeah.
which takes about 10 hours, I'd say,
It's-
of game time.
Yeah, it
Awful.
takes about 10 hours. And we get a lot of really interesting and important character details that are going to move the plot of this game
Well,
forward.
I think you do meet an important character.
Yes, we
A
have
mysterious
Cat
prisoner.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Uh-huh.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's better.
Obi Meow Kenobi.
So this mysterious kitty is there and lets you out of the prison, and the guards seem to be obeying his orders for some reason.
And he's in a Jedi robe.
We also get a couple of cutaways to Rosencaster performing experiments on people.
Yeah, the first time you meet
prisoners.
like one of these monsters, there's like monsters. There shouldn't be beasts in the prison, but there are, and some of them are prisoners that have been mutated. And
Most of them
you
just
get
seem to be like robots and shit, though. And spiders. Why were there
Some
so
of them
many
seem to
giant
be
spiders in this
rolling
prison?
pill bugs that kill you with one hit. That is, actually most, like the tarantulas kill you with one hit, the pillbugs kill you with one hit.
Yeah, you really gotta kind of grind there when you first get to the prison. But you have the opportunity. You can literally grind between a save point that will refill your health and mana and a shop that will sell you all sorts of shit. You get pretty good money off of killing these things. So you just kind of have to hang out there for 30 minutes and beat up spiders.
It's boring. That's why you should put on a podcast, like Escaping Nexium. That's what I did.
This level design is not good.
So yeah, basically what we're saying is there's a hard jump in difficulty here, and it's pretty bullshit. I have been employing a tactic called, as soon as the fight starts, use magic powers that damage everybody. And
yeah, there's one, like the Missile Barrage version 2 I unlocked, and that kills all monsters immediately.
Yeah, I don't have that. I have Jaster's Desert Wind, which is like a wind attack level 2, and it wipes them. Though, to be fair, I had, by the time I got that, I had gone up a couple of levels because I was sitting there,
Yeah, I went from like level 10 or 12 to 29 during this chunker.
Ooh,
yeah,
wow.
me too.
Yeah, there's a lot of leveling up. I also got lost.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of it.
Usually I'm the type to explore every nook and cranny, but these levels are so big and there are branching pathways. They I've noticed, tend to lead to the same spots though.
Well, I was looking at a FAQ and it says don't bother with the branches in the factory. So I did not.
That's good, because neither did I, and that was just because I couldn't fucking take it anymore. And I'm just heading as quickly as possible in a straight line to the blinking red arrow.
Yeah.
The problem with this prison is, like, there is a star that tells you where you're supposed to be going, and it's, like, over a blank area of the map because there's, I guess, height things and stuff not showing. So I was there. I was, like, walking around trying to press buttons and stuff for about half an hour and getting into fights.
Yeah, no, I did the same thing. I actually gained several levels here doing the exact same thing because I still don't understand it. That star, there's nothing there.
Nope.
There's nothing there. And the arrow will continue to point to that star even when you go because these levels are so fucking big, 1,000,000 miles away in the only direction you can really go. And if the thing's wrong the whole time, basically. The map navigation is wrong the entire time you're in this prison. And I thought it was just me. It's insane.
No, it is bonker. I think it's a vertical thing where it's
Vanessa,
like where you have to go is below you.
Did you have this issue as well?
I did. I didn't get stuck with the star because I think I did figure out that we needed to go up. So I was looking for the elevators and whatnot. I also did explore every nook and cranny of this prison, and it's not really worth it. Occasionally you find a treasure chest, but that's about it.
Yeah, and it's just something for your revelation flow. It's never anything interesting.
Yeah, it's ugly. There's like 1 or 2 other prisoners to interact with, but that's it. And it sucks, and it's a horrible level design.
There are guards every level that will sell you stuff, which is hilarious. And they flat out will be like, don't worry, I'm not telling anybody.
There's a cut scene which reminds me of the movie Batman and Robin, where Rosencaster, who's doing these experiments, looks longingly at a picture of him and his beautiful wife, Claudia.
Insane. What is happening?
This will be very important to the plot later, I am sure. So,
boy, it fucking better be. And even if it is, why?
It is not. Matthew, you know it's not because of what happens at the end of the prison. So
no, he survives.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, does he?
I think he does.
I believe he does.
I thought he was super dead. I thought he was shot in the head.
All right, well, let's just get to it because we've talked about this fucking stupid prison. Suffice it to say, listeners, it's awful and we hate this.
Norma is there. And she is, like, I guess, Rosencaster's boss, and he is doing some kind of research.
Norma is the one that looked like me.
Norma is bullseye tits.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's what I said.
Okay. So, she's there telling him what to do, and she's like, don't fail me now. You get all the way through the prison and you meet Rosencaster and...
Oh, you do run past the very first boss that you killed on the desert planet. its corpse
was
is
there
there,
for some
and they're
reason.
like, what the fuck? Let's move on.
Rosencaster seems to be trying to bring his dead wife back to life, right?
He's a real lock.
There's a cutscene where I don't remember anything what they said, but Robert and Henry come back and they're just cleaning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well...
What was that cutscene about?
So Robert and Henry got in trouble for leaving their post to go see, like, Mio. Wow.
Oh, okay.
So
my God.
they are cleaning the prison, and they're complaining about how they got penalized for leaving their post. However, they feel it was worth it to meet Mio, which I guess implies that she's not at the front desk all the time. Maybe just because there was sort of a PR crisis going on, she was there. But they do feel that robots could clean the prison just as well as they could. So it's not really appropriate to have them doing it. And then they look at the picture that they took with Mio, and that makes them feel better about having to, do some grunt work to make up for their insubordination.
They have
Is this
a
game
talk
like
about
a punishment?
how fucking one of them tells the other one that he's like just bitter because he can't find love, and the guy's like, "That's a sore subject," and I'm like, "What is happening?"
Is this game just making fun of us for playing it?
I think so.
Why do people say this is one of their favorite games of all time?
Yeah.
Like
What? Like, we're gonna have to
what
play it
is it?
through, guys. What if they're so important? What if by the end of this game we're like, Robert and Steve are the best?
Henry.
Whatever. Fucking who cares?
Steve is the robot.
The fucking janitor guards.
Maybe
So-
they're the final boss.
So we get to, they do remind me of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern from Hamlet, but getting back to Rosencaster, he's there, mysterious cat walks in and like they know each other and they're like fighting with lasers.
Meowby one Kenobi.
Meowby
Nobi.
one gets hit in the face with a laser and is knocked out, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to fight. And this is a really hard boss fight that took me I had to go back and like buy healing items in order to get through it. Cause like I didn't have any. And
Rosencaster?
yeah, cause he has a shield and this becomes a new mechanic where you have to use a charge move to break shields.
It's really annoying.
And it doesn't tell you that. It's just,
No.
I was streaming it and one of my friends was like, oh, just charge it and you'll break the shield.
Okay, see, I thought that I had forgotten an important mechanic that had been brought up earlier in the game.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So how do you charge it?
If you hold, like, it really
hold
works
down
with
the attack button.
Lilica. Yeah, hold down the attack button until you get a blue ring around you,
What?
and then Lilica unleashes a long-distance charge shot that breaks any shield. So if you see a blue
Jaster does a
shield
spin attack
icon,
like a Link.
yeah, and so does Steve. Steve is really high distance, but he's not in the party right now. Anyway, so that's how you get past this boss. And, I don't know about you guys. Simon has this attack, the missile barrage, that has the cutest cutscene that I like watching pretty much every time, where it like goes to this crazy yellow and red background and he takes out a parasol and then like fires his rockets and bounces them off his parasol. And I love it.
I like his attack where he pulls out a fishing rod. And
I haven't got that one.
He pulls up a big catfish looking thing, and then the catfish flops onto the ground,
man,
and I guess
Vanessa.
the impact
What?
of the catfish
Wow, I
causes
haven't got
damage.
that. But
What is it called?
I
the
don't
fish at the end
remember.
of this episode might be one of the funniest things
yeah.
we've seen in a game.
Yeah.
But
Yes, that was great.
So,
we
Rosencaster.
knock him out. He's fine. We leave him. But then Norma walks. Oh yeah. So mysterious prisoners like, there's still time to change. And then Norma walks in and just shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
yeah, the mysterious prisoner's like, you have time. Snap out of this, Rosencaster.
Yeah, and
And you're
Rosencaster's like, you
"What
don't
is
know
happening?"
me. And Prisoner's like, I know everything about you, Rosencaster. Claudia
You
wouldn't
know,
want
Matthew,
this.
they don't have a lot of time to explain this because we have to learn about the personal lives of Henry and Robert.
That's right.
So
No, John,
Norma
I
just comes in
understand
and-
what is happening. What I don't understand is why I'm fucking paying. Why am I watching this? What does this have to do with anything that has happened in the game so far? It's just such a fucking non sequitur, and it's so fucking melodramatic and nonsensical. Fucking.
Were you pretty surprised that Norma just comes in and just shoots him in the head?
Yeah, she shoots him in the fucking face.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I didn't think it was this kind of. She was that kind of character.
Oh yeah, he doesn't survive.
Meowby one cat Nobi walk is like, peace, motherfucker, stop being a douchebag, and leaves. And you're like, all right, well, I guess this'll come back. And then Bullseye Tits walks in, Missile Tits walks in, and is like, pow pow, ka-chow mow.
So you run out of the prison finally, and cut back to Zegram. He walks into the prison where, like, the Rosencaster's office, and sees Rosencaster, like, his hand twitching towards a photo, and Zegram's like, puts the photo in his hand, says, "You're together now." So maybe he's not
says, like,
so
"Don't
bad.
let her go again," or something like that.
So he seems like a good bad guy.
Is
He's not. Listen, he's got a full revelation flow. He's not really a bad guy, I think. Like, it's pretty clear. He's gonna remain part of this party.
So now we go back and get that visa, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you
End
go.
of Chunker.
You go to meet.
Shit, that's right. We only have talked about the prison.
Yeah.
Well, good news, listeners. Here comes fucking episode part 2, the spaceship factory. It's the prison again. It's just the prison again.
So Mio's like, "Oh, I know you really like."
Well, we don't want to gloss over the part where we leave the prison and these big police cars come.
Oh yeah.
And then the cat is like, takes off his hood and looks at them and he's like, "These are my friends." And then Simon's like, "Ooh, that guy looks familiar." And you walk down the street and then there's like a,
so fucking
100-foot projection of cat guy. And he's like, "I'm Admiral Barrage or Benarge. And I love peace. Let's work to peace." And then he's like, "Whoa, that was Admiral Benarge."
It is insane to me to think that fucking you could be in prison with fucking Barack Obama in a hood, and you wouldn't fucking recognize his ass. Even when he takes it off and leaves with a police escort, you're still like, "Oh,
who's
who's
guy
that guy
leaving with the Secret Service? It's very strange." And then you run into Chie and Miyoko.
What? Chie?
Chie and Miyoko.
What?
Chie and
yes.
Miyoko.
Who?
Chie.
You run into Simon's family. You run into a child is sitting there begging her mother for food because she is starving to death.
And the mother is like,
I have fucking whiplash.
yeah. And the mother's like, "Oh, soon." And then she shows a picture of her husband who has a very long nose. And
Well, so does everyone in this game, pretty much.
No, he's got that anime long nose, though. It's more, he's got like a rectangle nose.
Yeah.
Well, so does Pocaccio.
Yeah. But Chaz doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He has a thin rectangle nose, and Pocaccio has a large rectangle nose.
So they're like, "Have you seen this guy?" And then Chaz is like, "Oh, no, I haven't. What about you, Simon?" And Simon like turns his back and he's like, no, I've never seen that guy." And the woman's like, "It's my husband and he was injured in a chemical accident, but then he left the hospital and we're so trying to find our husband." And he's like, "I don't know." And they're like, "Okay, let us know if you hear something." They start to walk away and the little girl looks over her shoulder right at Simon. And she's like, "I'm fucking starving because you're embarrassed that you have a scar or something." Like, who can't see that plot coming?
He's a real Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
Skipping some child support.
He's done.
So we go back to finally get her visa, except she's like I was saying before, I can't give you a visa right now. We've suspended it because there's a terrorist incident. And cut to space reporter Lucy Dine, the third best space reporter, talking about this guy taking over the spaceship factory. Now, Lucy Dine, number 3, number 2 is Pudding, and number 1 is Ooh La La. Those are my space reporters in order of preference.
Where does the space reporter from Mass Effect rank?
Ooh, 4th. Yeah. All right. So Jupis, this like kind of, what would you call him? Like a squid man? He's got a
sort
mouth,
of like
though.
an anteater, but blue.
Okay. Yeah. He has
No.
taken over the...
He's
Okay.
like he looks like a dinosaur man. He doesn't look like an ant. He's got a long neck and like a reptile head.
Okay, that's fair. He
He's
looks
a
like this
tiny little dinosaur man.
the sun, a blue version of the sun from Dinosaurs. How about that?
His name is Jupis Tooki, and he's a fool of a Tooki.
Now,
Gandalf, what are you doing here?
there's this guy, Chief Star, who is another character, has put out a bounty on getting Jupis alive for hunters to take. We're like, well, if we get him, I'll get money and we'll be able to get our visa renewed.
Yeah, he's like, you'll be able to name your prize. And Lilica's eyes light up, like almost turn into dollar signs. And her tongue rolls out of her head with like a big dollar bill on it. And you hear the cha-ching noise because she is into money, which does not seem fitting with her character. But
Are you
That's
sure
what
she's
she
not
wants.
into this dude? Somebody describe Chief Star.
Okay,
He
do you
looks
know
like
the guy?
an anime 80s cop.
There's that guy who's in all the like Best in Show and all that. He kind of always talks like this.
Christopher Guest.
No, not that guy. The other guy.
Andy Daly.
He played like the good lawyer on Arrested Development.
Yeah, I
who
know the
was
guy
very
that you're talking
serious.
about, and I feel ashamed that I don't know his name.
Yeah, he was on.
He's
episode...
often Catherine O'Hara's husband or partner.
Yeah, he's really great. Anyway, he looks like that guy with like some gray streaks in his immaculate brown hair. He's a dreamy older zaddy.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's
Space
his name?
Zaddy
Simon.
Star.
No, I'm sorry. Steve tells Chief Captain whatever Star.
Yeah, because Simon has
that we got
left.
the-
Simon's like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
goodbye, Steve is coming instead.
Yeah.
Ugh,
so,
my kids.
I don't know how we walked right past that. Right after the scene where he meets his soon-to-be dead family, he's like, I don't feel my tum-tum hurty. And he goes back to the ship, and suddenly you've got fucking Steve the goddamn robot. So, like,
Yeah.
all right, well, we know that
Who's
you guys
like
went through
level
hell in the
2.
prison leveling up your characters and beefing up their weapons and shit. So, let's swap one of them out for the weakest fucking person in the party.
Finally, you get to see how C-3PO would do in a fight.
Yeah, the non-party characters do level up, but at like half the rate as your party characters.
The other thing is, well, at least I had not gone through and like bought a bunch of weapons for him because I hadn't used him, and you're really limited on funds and stuff. So it's not like I was ready for, I wasn't ready for Steve to come in because we talked about the frog log last week. Like that's kind of a big thing that I've noticed that the damage increase from
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. Like it's how you upgrade basically. So anyway,
Yeah, we go into the factory. It's got some nice escalators.
Who tells you that it's your desert? Oh, it's
Steve. Steve's like,
yeah.
aha, we got fucking Desert Claw right here, motherfucker. And Star's like, what?
Whoa!
And of course, Jaster just kind of stands there all befuddled, like, wait. And you're like, shut up, you fucking idiot. You know what
Jaster
you've
has not
stolen
told
this man's
anyone.
identity.
Yeah.
You have stolen this man's identity. Stop pretending like you don't know what's happening.
So, you get in there, and you are attacked by robots sent by evil Jupis Tooki.
Jupis Tooki. This chapter is called The Master Hacker because he's a master hacker. You can tell from his robot suit.
The mainframe of the spaceship factory also controls Zerard's functions, so like...
Yeah, good infrastructure, Dick.
Yeah. So there's some
By
problems here.
Dick, I mean whoever the city
It
planner
would be
is.
a big problem if he gains control of it, basically.
Yeah.
But this is a... Oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to narrate now. You go through, you fight some robots, you have to get keys to open doors.
You have to jump
go in,
from platforms
Yeah,
that move
there's some
so
platforming.
slowly that it's insane. But if you don't jump at the exact right spot, then you miss, even though the thing is moving at the speed of a snail.
Yeah.
You will
I
miss and
literally waited
plummet
2
3
minutes.
stories and have to fucking redo the entire goddamn room you just did. And you'll have to do that about 6 times in a row. If you're
Also,
an
if you
idiot
did
like
not
me.
find the hidden chest with a key in it,
Oh my god.
and then you go up to the top.
yeah, you get to the door and then it's like, you need a key.
I think this game is a practical joke.
Yeah. You get to a room and there are some big, frightening robots, and Steve gets knocked out, which I guess is something that can happen to a robot. They get concussed.
Yeah, he was trying to hack a door and it
it
blew
overloaded him or something. So these big robots are about to kill you, but then one of them kills the other two and it talks to you and it's like, it's me. I'm Dr. Piccaccio. Please leave here. And then you're just like a dick and you're like, nah, this is our prize.
Yeah, we're getting paid for this. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a scene Vanessa described in 15 seconds that plays out over about 6 minutes.
Yeah. And then the robot that was being controlled by this doctor blows up. Steve wakes up. You continue on. You find some other kind of robot to fight. And then...
you finally do meet Steve's
and that's when
dad.
This guy shows up. Spoiler alert, he's Steve's dad.
He takes you into his office, and it's just a room.
It's really nice.
Map.
Looks comfy.
It's the weirdest thing ever to me to just have a room on the side of the map that goes nowhere and does nothing.
Yeah.
It's just there. I don't know why I thought it was so fucking strange.
It's there to be in the cutscene and for use later, but John will get into that.
That's true.
Oh, right.
And this guy is like, Steve, you're the only good robot I ever made. You're my son. My actual biological son is dead, by the way.
That's why I'm working here at this factory.
Yeah.
What is happening?
My favorite part is Steve goes on about how important Pistachio is to him, but then finally meets him and is like, Pistachio, and then the Pistachio looks at him and is like, Mark? I want to say Ted. No,
so is
Mark's
every
his
chapter
son.
in this game going to feature a character with a dead loved one? Is that?
I think so.
Is that what this
It's
game is
all
about?
Pathos. It's pathos.
It's actually a complex metaphor for the stages of grief.
Steve Dad Pistachio, sad and no longer want to do good hard work as scientist, and now just runs factory.
Yeah.
What happened to his son?
It's not clear.
Okay. That's not something they need to spend time explaining.
But he's like, yeah, my son's dead. And Steve is like, I'm sorry to hear that. And, plays out again over 7 minutes. Then we continue on. We have to go to the mainframe. We walk into a room and it appears that Jupis Tooki is there taunting us.
Yay.
But
Let's
then
shoot an arrow at his face.
Yeah, he gets arrow through face and he just hologram.
Oh.
You get attacked by some robots again, and it's hilarious because you use Desert Wind or Missile Barrage and it kills them all in one hit. Mm-hmm. And you're like, what's happening?
Yep. Then eventually we finally get to the mainframe and Jupis Tooki is there. How Jupis Tooki talk?
I don't know. It's just like an anime character.
And it's like, it's me, Jupis Tooki.
Jupis Tooki McGanel.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
He's not as Cobra Commander as Kitty Man. The other not Martin Sheen sounding Kitty Man. Kitty Man back on the ship. He sounds like,
but he's getting there.
Yeah.
So Jupis says, you finally got here, but I have a trump card to play, and here it comes. And he hits a button, and here comes Johnny.
Who's Johnny? I love it.
So Johnny is a mech that has a big J on his chest, and at first you get the impression that Johnny is a character, but no, Johnny is just a mech, and Jupis Tanuki gets in the suit.
Yep.
I love it. He looks exactly like Dr. Robotnik. Slash Bean Eggman.
You start fighting him. He's big and round and cute. But you cannot hurt him because he has a magic shield. And then Piccaccio runs in and he's like, oh, I see that your time-space work has developed a really great magic shield there. But look at this. And then Jupis is like, that can't not be. And he's like, it is. And what it is it's just a gun that takes the shield down.
Yep.
So every
This
boss
game
battle
is
in this
awful.
game is going to have somebody show up to give you a gun to beat the boss.
Yeah. Every boss needs a special gun, platformy gun, freeze gun, and now we have de-shieldifying
Shield
gun.
buster.
We bust the shield. We beat the robot. It was real quick and easy.
Yeah, except
he says, I have an ace up my sleeve, which you've already said you have a trump card, and now you have an ace up your sleeve. Get a new metaphor, Jupis. So he turns the robot red, and Chaz is like, you think turning the robot red is gonna work? That's stupid. And he's right. It doesn't work.
nope.
He calls him Super Deluxe Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which,
he's red, and he's got his little robot eyes look all angry,
Yep.
and he's got spikes on his shoulders and on his wrists like an emo punk boy.
Yep.
He spins around Belgian fire.
But you
Got
beat
pretty
him.
tough here, actually.
Not for me. But everyone has different experiences, and that's what's great about games. They're interactive. So you beat him, and then Jupis is like, hey, it's time for me to give you my sad backstory.
I love this backstory.
Stupid.
I love it.
His sad backstory is that he was working really hard developing this space-time shield technology or something.
Next to some coffee.
And he had a pot of coffee and a coffee mug because
It's
he was
very important that we note this several times.
Yes,
with the camera.
we show it many times because he has been trying to stay up, and then his pal Tony comes along.
He seems really nice.
He's a really nice guy, and he's like, hey, Jupis, how you doing? And Jupis is like, oh, I'm almost there with the breakthrough. And Tony's like, oh, wow, yeah, your breakthrough's almost there. Cool. Once we figure out this technology, we'll really be able to control a lot of things. He's like, yeah, but I'm so tired.
So Tony's like, as soon as Jupis falls back asleep, he's like, with this technology, I'll be able to control, or we'll be able to control the universe.
Yeah, no, he's like, with this technology, the dream of ruling the universe is easy. Ha ha ha!
Yeah.
And you're like,
What?
he's just a dude.
Yeah.
He is just the most basic fucking white boy scientist you've ever seen in a fucking movie or game.
Yep.
And he sounds so nice.
So then Jupis wakes up and his coffee has spilled onto the computer dashboard that he was working on, which has caused a huge reaction. There are sparks flying from his monitor, from his dashboard, and then like 2 feet away from him is the generator. And there are sparks flying out of that, and the whole thing explodes.
This is a real Star Trek thing where every computer has to have its input directly built into it, as opposed to a separate thing off to the side, so that, you know, you can spill your coffee on your keyboard and your mouse and it's not a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Why is your keyboard above the processor?
So he did, I guess it didn't show it because it kept cutting to the coffee, and I expected there to be a scene where he spills the coffee, but I guess the game has faith in you to put 2 and 2 together that
Yeah.
he spilled the coffee.
It's
to blow up
also
the computer.
possible that he didn't spill the fucking coffee.
Yeah.
What? No.
That Tony didn't
All
do
he
it.
did was say, this technology sounds pretty fucking cool, and then he leaves. That's it.
I believe that Tony spilled the coffee and that Jupis did not knock it over in his sleep.
Okay.
We will find out.
Yeah. However,
Jupis certainly
apparently
believes
spilling
that,
coffee
but Jupis is a fucking lunatic.
Spilling coffee is such an infraction that despite the fact that Jupis is the brilliant scientist who invented this technology, he gets fired because he spilled a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And now he wants revenge. But
I thought he was like almost, were they trying to kill him?
maybe, because if he hadn't woken up, he definitely would have been electro-burned, exploded
And it still looks
to
like he
death.
got caught up into a huge explosion.
Yeah, he did get blasted back.
Not sure about that. We'll see.
Yeah, so the cops show up.
Star!
Yeah, Star's there.
He's like, you're mine, Jupis Tooki McGanel.
But Jupis Tooki Jupis Tooki has one more hand to play.
And it's
One
his
more
third
card to
fucking
deal.
name. How many names does this guy have? We're going to run into him in a minute, and it's going to be Jupis, Tooki, McGanel, Maflukel.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, what is... Every time he shows up in a scene, he gains a new name.
But he has a great plan to get away, and his plan is to yell, smoke bomb, and drop a smoke bomb on the ground, and then run away on his short, stubby little legs.
It works.
Yeah, it works. The smoke clears and they see him heading out the door, so he has not gotten far. And these much taller, long-legged guards are like, after him. And then...
That's the last we see of him.
Yep. And despite the fact that he got away, Chaz is like, I guess we got our prize now. And they're like, yeah, remember how we said you could name your prize? We were just kidding. Your prize is this Starship Factory.
What?
Oh.
Like they gave you a job?
I think they just give you the factory. It's like if you saved the life of Henry Ford and he's like, this is your factory now.
Is this the communist dream, though? Are we seizing the means of production?
Yeah.
So you go back.
We retire and just manufacture starships because that's definitely more lucrative.
Stupid visa. Mio gives it to you.
Yeah.
And a little special fan card.
Yes, Mio gives you membership into her fan club, and she sort of shames you for how high your fan number is, but says it can't be helped.
77,000.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta jump on that bandwagon at some point.
Although I think it's a pretty good way to build buzz. Like, everyone has to go there to get their visa renewed. So she's like forcing people into her fan club. And then people start hearing, oh, this Mio has 10,000 fans. I guess I'm a fan of Mio too. She seems really popular. That's how Trump won. True story.
I think your fan number is 78,500.
Okay.
So she's got a lot of fans.
So you can either walk back to the ship as I did, or teleport back there, which I recommend you do because it is a 5-minute walk.
I feel like you should probably go spend some time buying weapons and shit before you leave this place, but I had to get through this thing, so...
Yeah. So the final thing is you get back on the ship and meet your new crew member.
Who is it? Mystery Cat?
It is Jupis Tooki McGanel.
Whoa!
He realizes he's probably wanted by the law now. So he
specifically mentions that his apartment is surrounded by cops.
So, and you're like, well, how would this happen? Who would let him on the ship? And it cuts to First Mate Kitten Man eating a pile of fish.
Yeah. He has a pile of the ugliest looking fish. And he's holding the fish and he literally goes, meow, 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 meow. And then it cuts to the captain's daughter. And she has a pile of steam buns that she is eating in a similar way. She's like, nom, 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 nom.
So, Jupis has bribed his way onto the ship.
You watch the Darganark fly up into the sky and zip through some sort of portal, and that's the end of the chapter.
You get your Chivo that tells you you've done it.
Hooray!
We did it!
Yay!
Game over.
We're running short on time, so let's get right through it, John. Bullshit Minigame Corner!
Okay, John's Bullshit Minigame Corner. I tried a little bit of the bug collecting. I got the license to do it, but then it was like, you need 2 more bugs. You need 5 bugs to start. I've been feeding my bugs. I have 3 bugs. I have a little bee, and one with a knife tusk, and one with the pincer tusks.
I have 2 knife beetles.
I have a beetle with a fork for a nose.
Oh.
That's the second one I got. I got 2 bugs.
So, I've been failing at doing this, but I've been really busy this week. So right before I got to the ship, I was like, oh, I should see what this factory button does on the menu. So I hit it, and
I mean, we didn't really even explain it. They give you the factory that opens up a new menu option. It also gives you access to a shop in the spaceship factory in the Pinocchio's office.
Yeah.
And he just sells shit for your revelation board, which is handy.
Now, the actual factory minigame is a giant shop floor where you place conveyor belts, processing machines, and tubes to squish items together, I think, and each component has to be plugged in via electric cords that you route. And I hate my life, and this looks like the most complicated minigame I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I'm going to do this for sure.
Yeah. Let's all spend about 10 hours really mastering this minigame.
I'm going to at least watch a tutorial because what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
What?
So we'll have more to talk about regarding that next week. Is that right?
Yeah.
And maybe John's disgust of that flows into Squarely Against.
I will tell you my Squarely Against, and then I have to go.
Okay.
Okay, I am roundly for Simon's missile attack animation. It is glorious. It is so cute and stylish. I wish the whole game was like that.
Matt, what do you Squarely Against?
I think I'm just going to be roundly for the fun character designs for these stupid aliens. Even the, humanoid ones, like Chief Star, he looked like he fell out of the 80s, like Remington Steele or something. It's hilarious to me.
He's a great, handsome cop.
There are fish-headed monsters walking around and shark-headed monster men walking around, and they're all hilarious, and I enjoy them. And the shark men have big nose piercings or something.
Yeah, because they're
like
cool.
Rings. What about you, Vanessa? What are you Squarely Against?
I am Squarely Against levels that are just long corridors with little graphical interest, and they're boring, and they're stupid, and if your game sucks, the way to make it better and more full is not just to stretch your corridors and add more random fights. It's stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty... Everything about this level design in this section was atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I have a letter. Here's my letter. The idea of forced sex came up during the KOTOR playthrough. Would you consider the sex scene in Demolition Man as what forced sex could/would be? Signed,
What?
Ryan Miller.
When did we get this letter? Did you make this up?
I did not. Would you like me to repeat the question?
No. No, Ryan. Bad.
I have not seen Demolition Man, so I cannot answer this question. That's a boy movie. I only watch Strawberry Bride and things like that.
This is a wild, revelation. You have not seen Demolition Man?
No.
So you don't even know about Taco Bell, do you?
No.
What about Three Seashells?
I've seen the memes.
That's weird.
Is that the one that has the guy who's a pasta robot?
No, that is...
Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd. Pretty
Yeah.
fucking similar, though.
Okay.
Close enough.
Yeah. I don't feel like that's a movie that I need to see. Matt, however, has seen it, and he thinks that that's exactly what forced sex could/would be.
Moving on.
All right. Send us an email. You know our email address. It's squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. If you absolutely cannot be bothered to send an email, please come see our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, really attractive people. It's very good, and everyone is there all the time. Or you can tweet us at Square Roots Pod. I am there some of the time. Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you screenshot your review and post it on the Facebook group or Twitter, John will tell you how you leveled up.
Yay! Like this right here.
Adam Saban, you have leveled up. +3 to cool babies. Gained the ability Banger Banger. And finally have learned the attack, that really cool slicey attack where you run at the enemy in a fast charge and then it looks like you didn't do anything, but then the enemy slides in like 3 halves because you like cut him so fast you didn't even notice, man. Whoa. We have a Patreon. I am here from being at work to tell you about the patrons that we have. These include, and are not limited to, Aaron Bachman. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Andrew Wyant. Thank you, Artie Pavlov. Thank you, Ashley T. Thank you, Bobby Midkiff. Thank you, Brady A. Berman. Thank you, Bree Girth. Thank you, Brian Pitt. Thank you, Brian Stone. Thank you, Brody Toy. Thank you, Cameron Show. Thank you, Kiva Moser. Thank you, Cyril the Wolf. Oh, thank you, David Green. Thank you, David Pascal. Thank you, David Shook. Thank you, Devin Sloan. Thank you, Eric Garby. Thank you, Florida Jonas Kramer. Thank you, G. Bailey. Thank you, Go to Paris, France. Thank you, Go Cry Wolf. Thank you, Gregory. Thank you, Jake Dickerson. Thank you, James Hostetler. Thank you, James Plett. Thank you, Jonathan Ellsworth. Hey, Jonathan Lee. Thank you. And thank you, Joseph A. Rogers. Thank you, Josh Anderson. Thank you, Julia Zanella. Hey, thanks, Julian Titus. Thank you, Justin Benoit. Thank you, Justin Ham. Thank you, Vanessa's mom. Thank you, Matt Jorgensen. Thank you, Mecha Khan. Thank you, Megan Sullivan. Thank you, Meredith Anderson. Thank you, Miguel Torres. Thank you, Mothma of Mon Calamari. Thank you, Nathan Poirot. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Owen Marble. Thank you, Patrick. Definitely not a robot. Coover. Thank you, Patrick W. Bears. Thank you, Race Jenkins. Thank you, Randy Pierce. Thank you, Aresti Kamada. Thank you, Robert M. Pullum. Thank you, Robert T. Thank you, Ross Hartley. Thank you, Ryan Miller. Thank you, Sam Harrison. Thank you, Sammy Mitchell. Thank you, Stu Skeel. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tracy Tanoff. Thank you, Tyler Petty. Thank you, Vanessa's mom. Thank you, Ward Childress. Thank you, Wonder Swan. And thank you, Xavier Krieger. There was something else I had to do. Oh, yeah, I know it. I'll get to it now. Thanks to Ferdk for his cover of Braveheart, the battle theme for Rogue Galaxy. No, it is not Braveheart the movie by Mel Gibson, which sucks. Check out Ferdk's YouTube and check out Ferdk's music on iTunes. Also, he's on Patreon. Support Ferdk's music on their Patreon at patreon.com/Ferdk. And links to all the other stuff are totally in our show notes for this very episode you are listening to right now. And hey, thank you for listening through all this endgame content. Porky says thank you too. Is that right, girl? Yeah, you're thanking them? Aw, see, that's a meow of thanks. Everyone wants a meow of thanks.
All right, that's it.
Yep.
For the Square Roots Podcast, I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm John Brandon.
I'm Jim Banks.
And I'm Vanessa.
Bye.
Last time on Square Roots, we crash land on a jungle planet and quest for fruit, only to be made horribly uncomfortable by racial caricatures and the objectification of underage girls. Also, we kill a Scarabod. Oh, I said Scarabod.
let's try that again.
Okay.
But this time, say the correct word. No killing Peter Sarsgaard.
Last time on Square Roots, we crash land on a jungle planet and quest for fruit, only to make... I can't do
Quest
it.
for fruit.
Quest for fruit. We did quest for fruit.
Yeah, okay, one more time.
Yeah.
Last time on Square Roots, we crash land on a jungle planet and quest for fruit, only to be made horribly uncomfortable by racial caricatures and the objectification of underage girls. Also, we kill a star god.
Tell me more about this objectification.
That's the best you're gonna get, John.
All right, let's go. Okay.